If you have been told that you have glaucoma, there is something happening behind your eyes right now that you cannot feel. No pain, no blurring at first, nothing that warns you, and yet, quietly, pressure may be pressing on the most delicate nerve in your entire body. What I am about to share with you will not replace the drops your doctor has given you, but it may change how well your eyes hold up in the years ahead. I am Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura. After more than 20 years working closely with older adults, watching how their eyes age, I have learned something that many people never hear in a short appointment. The food on your plate speaks to the pressure inside your eyes. Not as loudly as your medication, but it speaks, and most people are never told what it is saying. Let me explain what most people do not realize about glaucoma. You may think of it as simply high pressure in the eye. That is part of it. But the real damage happens to the optic nerve, the thin cable of fibers that carries everything you see to your brain. When pressure builds, or when the blood supply to that nerve weakens, those fibers begin to fade slowly from the edges of your vision inward. This is the part that rarely gets explained. Glaucoma is not only a pressure problem, it is also a circulation problem. The nerve needs a steady, gentle flow of blood and oxygen, and what you eat every single day helps decide whether that flow stays steady or grows weak. So today I want to walk you through what to put on your plate, and just as importantly, what to be careful with. Stay with me, because the second item surprises almost everyone. The first food I want you to think about is dark leafy greens, spinach, kale, collard greens. Picture a person who eats the same beige meals every day, bread, rice, a little meat, and almost nothing green. Inside their body, the lining of their blood vessels slowly loses its ability to relax and open. Here is the hidden mechanism. Leafy greens are rich in natural nitrates, and your body converts these into something called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as a quiet signal that tells your blood vessels to soften and widen. Wider vessels mean better blood flow to that fragile optic nerve. Studies following older adults have observed that those who ate the most leafy greens had a meaningfully lower risk of developing glaucoma. If your eyes are already affected, better circulation to the nerve is exactly the kind of support you want to give them. The second food is the one that surprises people: fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Many people over 60 have quietly cut back on fish, thinking less of everything is safer. The omega-3 fats in oily fish help reduce inflammation in the small vessels and support the health of nerve tissue itself. The optic nerve is nerve tissue. It is, in a sense, an extension of your brain reaching into your eye. These fats also support healthy tear production, which matters more than people think, because dry, irritated eyes are common in those using pressure-lowering drops for years. 2 or 3 servings of oily fish each week is a gentle, steady gift to the tissue you are trying to protect. I want you to pay attention here, because the third food connects to something many older adults overlook: colorful fruits and vegetables that are deep in pigment. Blueberries, blackberries, carrots, sweet potatoes, peppers. Inside your retina and your nerve, there is constant exposure to light, and light produces a kind of internal wear, what scientists call oxidative stress. Imagine metal slowly rusting when it is left exposed. These deeply colored foods carry antioxidants, including 2 called lutein and zeaxanthin, that act like a protective shield for the cells of the eye. They do not cure anything, but they help defend the very cells that glaucoma is trying to take from you. The fourth thing I want to mention is not a food, but a habit around water, and this is where I must be careful with you. Staying gently hydrated through the day is good for the whole body, but drinking a very large amount of fluid all at once, a big bottle of water swallowed quickly, can cause a temporary rise in eye pressure in some people with glaucoma, so the guidance is simple and calm. Drink steadily in small amounts spread across the day, rather than in sudden large volumes. This is a small change, but for an eye already under pressure, small changes matter. If any of this is beginning to make sense to you, if you recognize your own plate in what I'm describing, write the word eyes in the comments below. It helps me understand who I am speaking to, and it may remind someone else watching to take this seriously too. Now let me tell you about a patient, because his story shows how these pieces fit together. I remember a man named Kenji, 68 years old, retired, careful, the kind of man who took his eye drops faithfully and never missed an appointment. He did everything his ophthalmologist asked. And yet, over 2 years, his field of vision kept narrowing, slowly at the edges. He was frightened because he was doing everything right with his medication and still losing ground. When we spoke about his daily life, the picture became clearer. His blood pressure dropped quite low at night. His meals were heavy and beige, almost no greens, no fish, very little color on the plate. His circulation to that already vulnerable nerve was weak, especially in the dark hours. I did not change his medication. That was his eye doctor's decision, and his drops stayed exactly the same. But we added greens to his lunch, oily fish 2 times a week, and a handful of berries most days. We spoke with his physician about his nighttime blood pressure. Over the following months, his vision did not suddenly return, and I never promised him that it would. But the slow loss steadied. His most recent tests showed his field holding stable, where before it had been slipping. He told me he finally felt he was on the same side as his own body. That is what the right food can do, not a miracle, a foundation. So let me give you the practical part, simply without overwhelming you. Start with 1 change, not 5. This week, add a serving of dark leafy greens to 1 meal a day. That alone is meaningful. Next, aim for oily fish 2 times a week. Add color to your plate, berries, carrots, peppers, whatever you enjoy, and sip water gently across the day rather than in sudden large amounts. Be a little cautious with very large servings of strong coffee taken all at once, since a heavy dose of caffeine can briefly nudge eye pressure upward in some people. A normal cup is generally fine. And please hear this clearly. None of this replaces your eye drops, your laser treatment, or your surgery if your doctor has recommended one. Those treatments are what actually lower your pressure. The food is what supports the nerve and its blood supply, while those treatments do their work. The two belong together. Always keep your own ophthalmologist informed of any changes you make. I want to leave you with something steadying. A diagnosis of glaucoma is not the end of seeing the faces you love or the world you have lived in. The optic nerve is delicate, yes, but the body still responds to good conditions even later in life. When you give your eyes steady circulation, gentle protection, and faithful treatment, you are doing everything within your power. And that is a great deal more than most people realize. If this was helpful to you, subscribe to this channel and leave a like so that others searching for calm, honest guidance can find it. I will keep sharing what I see in my patients so that you can make better decisions earlier and protect the sight you still have. Tell me in the comments, what is one food from today that you will add to your plate first? I read what you write, and your answer may help someone else take the first step.